The chessboard reveals the foundational truth of Pokemon. The Genesis is here. We see the pattern, and the checkmate awaits.
The universal hardware.
Look at the board. Most people see biology as a mess of chemicals, but the Manus Kript reveals the math. Our DNA uses 4 letters. If the body tried to write the instructions for life using 1-letter or 2-letter words, the system would fail. There aren't enough combinations to build a human. But when the architect uses 3-letter words, we get exactly 64 squares.
The universal
This isn't
hardware.
a suggestion. It's a closed system. 60 squares are your action squares. They build your physical frame. But the most important part of the grid are the 4 logic squares. You have 1 start square, the August Genesis move. It's the power on button. Now look closer at the board. Out of the 64 squares in the universal hardware of life, only 4 control the entire logic of the game. First, you have the August square. We call this the Genesis move. It is the green light. In layman's terms, it's the power on button. It ensures that the handwritten script of your life starts at the exact right letter, every single time. Without the Genesis move, the message is gibberish. Then, you have the 3 checkmate boundaries, UAA, UAG, and UGA. These are the red lights. They act like the period at the end of a sentence. They don't build anything. They stop everything. They ensure your physical body is built to the exact size and shape intended by the architect. On this, we've seen the logic, now look at the action. The remaining 60 squares on this board are the builders. Their only job is to carry out the specific, handwritten instructions required to assemble the physical pieces of your body. They are the workforce that translates the code into the bone, the blood, and the breath of life. But remember, they only work within the lines. The conclusion for this meeting is simple. Your DNA is not a random chemical accident. It is a pre-coded script with a defined beginning and an absolute end. This 64-square grid is the universal hardware of life. It is a closed system. It is a sovereign architecture that cannot be, quote, patched, upgraded, or rewritten by any man-made system. The script was finished before the first move was ever made. The board is set. The math is absolute. The revelation is here. For those who want the technical breakdown, the math is indisputable. Nature has 4 chemical letters to work with. If the system tried to build a human using only 1-letter words, you'd only have 4 options. Not enough to build anything. If it used 2-letter words, you'd have 16 combinations. Still not enough to cover the 20 basic building blocks of life. The trilateral constant is the only way the system works. When you read 4 letters in groups of 3, the math forces a result of exactly 64 squares. This is why the 8x8 grid is the universal hardware. It is the sweet spot of complexity. It provides 60 squares for action and 4 squares for logic. Any less, and the system crashes. Any more, and the system is redundant. It is a perfect mathematical seal. $4 cubed equals $64. The hardware is off.
We can do better. We could be chasing